So this evening, I have some of our wool handling trainers joining us to do this webinar tonight. So we have Amber Poihipi joining us, Sheree Alabaster, and Tina Elers. So all of you have, I know, a really great history with competition careers, some incredible results over your time competing. So I think that's probably the first question I'm going to ask you, and I'll go for you first, Sheree. Can you tell us a little bit about your competition history and what highlights you might have actually had through those competition years?
Kia ora koutou katoa, ngā iwi o te motu. My career highlights, there's been a lot. I've actually just got some notes. I'll probably just, if my eyes are looking somewhere else. But so I was very fortunate to come through an era where I competed against some very, very amazing wool handlers. I'm a bit worried about saying certain names just in case I forget a lot of them, but there's been so many over the years, and the ones that I can name that I've been a part of with is Joanne Kumaroa, Gina Nathan, and Oti Mason, Elsa Fleming, and Ronnie Goss. So I was very fortunate. For me, I felt that that was one of my career highlights, was being able to compete alongside those people. There's lots of others as well. Competition career highlights, I guess I've been thinking about it, and as an individual, my very, very first time winning Te Kuiti show, that was an amazing feeling because I was competing against or alongside those names that I've just said. It would have to be the World Champs in 2008 in Norway. The World Champs there, that was definitely a career highlight. And as well as the other two World Champs that I've been to. I think I was sitting here thinking about it this evening, and to be honest, my first time representing my island was a big career highlight for me. For the North Island, we used to have a competition when we travelled to the South Island to compete, and they came back up here to us. That was huge because it was your representing your island, and then the flow-on effect from that was representing New Zealand, because to me that's just huge, like putting on the black jersey, representing your country, hearing your national anthem, watching your flag get risen. That's a really, really surreal feeling. And then after the competition, if you've won, of course, well, then watching it go back up as winners is just amazing. So there's been a lot of career highlights, not just all the wins either, like competing against people and making friendships that have lasted for life, and being a part of the sharing sports as a whole alongside my mum and dad, who are also judges. So that's some of them.
Pretty inspiring and pretty incredible. Thank you, Sheree. So Amber, could you tell us a little bit about what your career highlights might have been with your competition career?
Yeah, kia ora. So I haven't been in the game, well, I haven't been doing show life for as long as Sheree and Tina have. I've only been competing probably for the last 4 years. But in those short 4 years, I've managed to accomplish a lot. And personally, my biggest highlights, the number one highlight for me in my career would have to be winning the Golden Shares. It was my first time competing in the seniors up there. And when I won that, it was just like, wow, the best feeling in the world. And it's something I'll never, ever forget either. As well as not only that, but I went through a stage where I won 3 shows in a row, 3 senior shows in a row, which is another big accomplishment for me. Definitely a big highlight. And I'd have to say the last highlight for me was being able to win the senior circuit and the Waimate show at the same time, and then being able to do it 2 years in a row. So that's definitely my highlights of my career.
Wonderful. Thank you, Amber. And then lastly, I'll ask you, Tina, what are the highlights of your competition career?
The highlight for me, kia ora everyone. The highlights for me would be representing the Cook Islands at 2 World Champs and being in a wool handling team with my daughter at those champs. and being, you know, making the podium and being ranked third in the world, but to be able to do it with Maiden, who I apologise isn't here tonight. She's working in the sheds plus doing a night shift job. She's run off her feet. But yeah, that was my highlight in my career. I have a lot, but yeah, competition wise, that's it.